Let's talk politics. Will this be the key to a Donald Trump victory in the first presidential contest of 2016 in the Iowa caucuses?
He is perfectly positioned to let you make America great again. No more pussyfooting around. Our troops deserve the best. You deserve the best. You ready for a commander-in-chief who will let our warriors do their job and go kick ISIS ass? I'm here to support the next president of the United States, Donald Trump.
Former Alaska governor and vice presidential candidate Sarah Palin yesterday endorsed Donald Trump, and Donald Trump joins us on the phone right now. Good morning to you, Mr. Trump.
Good morning.
So how did this endorsement happen? Did you reach out to her? Did she reach out to you? What?
Well, you know, I've known Sarah for a long time. She's a fantastic person and respected, and really many people wanted her endorsement, as you can imagine, because she's got a group of followers that will do anything. They love Sarah. And you know, we've done very well, as you folks know perhaps better than anybody. We've done very well between, you know, all of the different things we're going to be doing with trade and Obamacare, repealing and replacing it with something that's going to be much better. I don't know if you've seen the rates, but people are going up 25, 35, and 45% with Obamacare. It's a disaster. And so many other things, and people view me much stronger on the border and on ISIS and taking care of the vets and the military. So she wanted to endorse us, and you know, it was an endorsement that I'm very proud of, and she did it yesterday and in front of a really big group of people, and we have such great crowds, and you know, so we're really honored to have it. We love Sarah, and so do a lot of people.
Do you think that you would put her in your cabinet should you win?
Well, you know, it's interesting because she didn't even talk about it. You know, a lot of people, they'll call, oh, gee, let's go politics, and she never even mentioned it. It was just the endorsement. I don't even know that she'd want to do that, actually.
But would it be something you would think about, Donald Trump?
Well, it would be something I would certainly think about. We never even discussed it. She was just happy to endorse. You know, she views it as a movement. She said it in a speech. For instance, today we're doing a speech. I'm in Iowa right now. We're doing something early in the morning in Iowa in a little while right after this call, and then we have a great crowd, and then we go to Oklahoma. We're going to have like 12,000, 13,000 people in Oklahoma, and it was just set up a couple of days ago. And you know, we have the biggest crowds by far, much bigger than Bernie Sanders, by the way, but the press hates to say it. The other day, Sanders had 3,000 people, and I had 12. And they said, oh, the crowds at Sanders are unbelievable. Nobody ever mentioned the fact that I had 12. I mean,
yeah, well, you know why
so
that is. You know why that is.
I have an idea.
Mr. Trump, this is Heather
here.
Hi,
Heather.
Hi, great to talk to you this morning. You just mentioned Obamacare, and you know, when you have put out policy proposals in the past, whether it's VA reform or your economic plan, you've gotten a lot of kudos for those things. There are still a lot of folks out there who want to know more details from you about what you would do, whether it be dealing with ISIS and Iran, or what about Obamacare? Do you have anything that you'll be releasing anytime soon?
Right. Well, we have a lot of policy out there, and you've seen what we've done with the vets, which has really been acclaimed by everybody. The vets are in love, and they really like what we're doing, and we're winning so many endorsements from the vets. Obamacare, we're going to free it up. We're going to make sure that companies can come in and give us much better health care at a much lower price, and we're going to let companies bid. You know, I don't know if you know, but right now you have very strong restrictions on what companies can do and who can bid, and you have these phony state lines all over the place, and people have been talking about it for years, but you know, I'm not receiving any money. I don't get any campaign contributions from these fat cats and from people I know very well, from the lobbyists, from everybody. And what happens is the insurance companies are all protected. So they have like a monopoly in different states, and you can't even bid against them. It's ridiculous. If you want to bid in California, if you're an insurance company, you can't do it. We're going to free it up so that people can get great health care and great health insurance. And this is what we have to do. And if we don't do it, it's going to be a continuation of the same, because if you look at your rates, if you look at the premiums on Obamacare, what's going on, take a look at the deductibles, by the way. The deductibles are so high that no matter what happens, unless you get hit by a tractor, you can't use it. So it's a real problem.
So yesterday you had Sarah Palin endorse you. You had the daughter of John Wayne say, you know, if John Wayne was alive today, he'd be up here endorsing you. And then also, although it was not a direct endorsement of you, The governor of Iowa, Terry Branstad, said it would be a big mistake for Iowa to support Ted Cruz, and he hoped that Ted Cruz lost because he doesn't like ethanol. What did you make of that development?
Yeah, and maybe for other reasons, too. You know, Ted is not a person that's liked. I mean, he's a nasty guy, and people don't like him. And I was really surprised to see that. Terry Branstad's a very highly respected man. Actually, he's the longest-serving governor in the history of the United States. That's something. He broke that record about a month ago or 2 months ago. That's an amazing record. And the people of Iowa love him. And he cares for them, and he's not your politician where they talk. What he says is the right thing. So I think that's going to have a huge impact. And he really does not want Ted Cruz to win.
Well,
and I was surprised to see it. I mean, I think everybody, because it's just not him. He doesn't do that.
Well,
so I think it was a very bad hit.
Well, Ted Cruz run, I think you would agree, a very solid campaign so far. He was an also-ran who seems to have absorbed all of Ben Carson's votes, and now is very tight with you on the Real Clear average, 1.5 points away.
In
Iowa, but in New Hampshire.
Only in Iowa. We're pretty tight in Iowa. I'm winning in Iowa, but we're tight in Iowa. But elsewhere, other than Iowa, if you go to New Hampshire and other places, he's not doing well at all.
But Governor Kasich,
he's doing better in Iowa.
What is your take on Governor Kasich's surge to a solid second, it seems, on an average at 19%, still far from you in New Hampshire?
Well, he's doing better, and I'll tell you, interestingly, he was very nice to me when he first ran, and then he got very nasty, and then he became very nice again. So right now I like him, and I think he's doing pretty well. In terms of the establishment, he seems to be doing a little bit better than the others right now, based on a poll. I think the big poll comes out tonight at 6 o'clock, the WMUR poll with CNN. It comes out at 6, so I'm looking forward to seeing that poll. That's a very comprehensive poll of New Hampshire. But we've been winning New Hampshire by a lot. I think he could be in second place or third place right now.
You know, Ted Cruz came out last night. Of course, he was criticizing you in part over the sale of Sarah Palin endorsement. But one of the things he said, he criticized you for being a deal maker, which is really one of your positive points. He said
that's a good thing, not a bad thing.
That you would be too likely to capitulate to Democrats in Congress. So how would you work with the opposite party in Washington?
Well, I've been making deals all my life, and that's why I'm worth many billions of dollars, more than $10 billion, because that's what I do. I make deals, and you get it done. And the problem with Washington, they don't make deals. It's all gridlock, and then you have a president that signs executive orders because he can't get anything done. I'll get everybody together. We'll make great deals for the country. We'll take back our trade. We'll strengthen our military. We'll take care of our vets. The vets are a huge problem. They're being taken care of so badly. I mean, so badly. We'll strengthen up the borders. Yeah, we're going to make deals. We're going to make great deals. And politicians don't know how to make great deals like a guy like Ted. You know, he borrows money from Goldman Sachs. He borrows money from Citibank. He doesn't report it on his forms where you have to report it. It's, you know, a violation at a very significant portion. And he doesn't report things like that. You can't just say that. I mean, it's very sad to see it. And he's got the other problem. You know what the other problem is, because now he's being sued by numerous people saying he was born in Canada, so he's got to work that out somehow.
The question of natural-born citizenship. Got to ask you about this. This is something in the show business world, and you've been part of that for a very long time. Al Sharpton is now calling for people not to watch the Oscars because for the second consecutive year, no black actors were nominated in any of the 4 acting categories. J.D. Pickett-Smith, Will's wife, said she was upset about it. You got Spike Lee saying, I'm not going to go. What do you make of this?
Well, I think it's a tough situation. I think it's really sad. And, you know, Al is just a guy who wants to get publicity for himself, and I understand him very well. Al would actually probably say that he was a friend of Donald Trump, okay? Maybe not on television, but outside of television. I think it's a tough situation. I saw somebody on your show today saying, well, what do we do with BET, Black Entertainment, right? So, you know, because over there, the whites don't get any nominations or don't get... And I thought it was an amazing interview, actually. It was I never even thought of it from that standpoint. But with all of that being said, it would certainly be nice if everybody could be represented properly. And hopefully that's the case, but perhaps it's not the case. It's a difficult situation.
Donald, if you're Chris Rock, and again, for the second consecutive year, there are no African Americans who got nominated, and now there's pressure from the black community for him to step out, what would you recommend he do?
Well, I think he'll probably say something, you know, and joke about it a little bit and do it the way he does. He's a great guy. I know him pretty well. He's a very good guy and a very funny guy. He'll probably make a big issue out of it, and I think that's fine. Let it be known, and And, if somebody deserves it, I mean, I've watched over the years where African Americans have, in fact, received Academy Awards and have been very well represented. This is not one of those years, but over the years I've seen, numerous black actors and African American actors receive Academy Awards, and I think that's great. This doesn't happen to be one of those years, but it's a difficult situation, and when Al Sharpton's jumping up and down, people say, "Well, give me a break."
Before you go, you had Sarah Palin endorse you yesterday, pre-Iowa caucuses. Any other endorsements up your sleeve that might drop next week?
Well, I just got a very big endorsement from Carl Icahn, who's a great businessman, and I have many business people wanting to endorse me, and they're the best. But unfortunately, nobody's ever heard of any of these people. But I consider them to be, the most important endorsements, because when you look at what China and Japan and all these countries are doing to us on trade, we're going to have the best people negotiate. We're not going to have political hacks. Right now we have political hacks that got there because they donated and because they made contributions to politicians. We're going to have guys like Carl Icahn and the best businessmen, the best negotiators in the world. We have the best business people in the world, men and women in the world. We don't use them. We use political hacks to make our deals with these countries, and they rip us. With China, we're losing in terms of trade deficit, $500 billion a year. And those days are gone. It's not going to happen anymore. So when I get an endorsement from Carl Icahn and many other business people, the top people in the world, really, to me, that's a great endorsement.
Been a big deal on Wall Street. All right, Donald Trump, we know you got a busy day there in Iowa and later in Oklahoma. Thank you very much for joining us.
Sarah Palin tagging along?
Yeah.
Today and tomorrow?
She's going to be going, and we're going to have a lot of fun. It'll be great.
All right. Congratulations.
Thank you all. Thank you very much.
Have a great day. Thank you, sir.